Talk and Rock Radio, where friends meet at the intersection of life, inspiration, and music. Here's your host, Rick Kern.
Welcome, everyone. Talk and Rock Radio is bringing you today Ireland. Country, music, and friends. And with me right now is a true Irishman who lives on the Emerald Isle. Welcome, Sean McGeeney. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Rick. How are you, brother? And a great big Céad Míle Fáilte us Éireann. And a happy St. Patrick's Day to all your viewers, and a big hi to everyone in El Paso. It's such a thrill to be here with you. A privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. It means a lot to me, too. And I got to tell you, in the true Irish spirit, I have with me today, look at there. Look at there.
I don't believe this. Do you know what is absolutely insane? I just, when I dropped the child off for Scouts, I had an hour to kill, so it's not much sense coming home, so I just killed time in town. And I was in Lidl in the supermarket, and they have, these, what do you call them? They're like a metal sort of frame. I'm dreadful at explaining things. A metal sort of thing you put in the wall, like a logo, not like a poster, but it's a metal form.
Yeah.
And I seen one, I says, I got to get that for Rick. I got to get it for him. And I didn't pick it up. I said, I'll get it tomorrow. Now, if I had got it tonight, I could have said to you, well, it just so happens. And
so,
I'll have to get that off to you.
And I also have the only green shirt that I own. I got my green shirt on today, so I'm good. I'm good to go, man.
Green. I couldn't get it in green. All my green stuff's in the washing machine.
Oh man! Well, this is fun. I'm really glad to finally be doing this show with you. We've talked about doing it for a while, and we're finally here. This is so cool. Just to let everybody know, we're going to do a little bit of everything in this episode. We're going to talk about Sean and his band. He's with the #1 wedding band in Ireland. They're called The Urge. But I know before we go into that, I'd like first for you to talk a little bit about how you and I met, back, it's been 13 years now.
That's right. And how we met was through the advent of the internet, basically, because back in 91 with the band that I was playing with, he was an up-and-coming sort of singer in Ireland, a chap called Matt Levy. And the guy that was our agent, the guy that managed us, also was a promoter for American acts coming in to the country, So obviously with him managing us, we were always going to get the support slot, which was great. We always got the first preference. So the first one that ever came over was Buck Owens. We toured with Buck around Ireland, which was good fun. God, he was a big guy, big fella, big lad. And then with Tammy Wynette. And then the first night we met, we played with Tammy and the guys, was over in Galway. And from the outside, we just clicked. Like, they were so cool. Just so cool lads, like just regular guys, and it was great. And it's lovely to meet regular guys, because yourself, you meet some guys and sometimes they're just so full of their own self-importance that, it does nothing for me. But these guys were just so cool, And I really clicked with Bobby and
Bobby Napier, right?
Yeah. We done the tour. The tour was only a week long, but one of the nights was free, and we were playing. It just so happened we were playing in Dublin, and the guy said, "Well, should we go to the gig with you?" So the lads arrived anyway, but the bass player didn't show up. He wasn't there. He was doing his own thing, and the drummer wasn't there either. So her sort of PA, bodyguard, whatever, Buddy Harmon Buddy Harmon Jr. He was a great drummer as well, same as his dad, Lord rest him. And he came up on drums, and with no bass player, I stood in on bass. And so between ourselves and Tammy's band with Bobby, I can always have it to say, well, I played in Tammy Wynette's band.
That is so cool, man. That is so cool.
You know, but it was such a great jam. Oh, man. For 20 minutes, like, or a half hour, it was so much fun, you know. And on the last night, which was the Cork Opera House, on Holy Thursday night, we went back to Jury's Hotel. We just have a few jars and all that. And when it was time for us to go home, because we were heading straight to the ferry to catch the boat over to England, because we were playing at Wembley on Easter Saturday. And then Tammy and the guys were playing on Easter Sunday. So we had arranged that the guys were going to come over on the Saturday. And so I had the phone number of the hotel, and I rang and I asked for Buddy, but it was actually Bobby actually answered the phone. He says, but he won't be able to make it over because he has to stay with Tammy. But myself and the other guys are coming over. So that was grand. So we hung out the whole day, and it was such good fun. It was great fun. And so after we parted ways anyway, but sure, that was long before mobile phones or internet or anything, you know. So like at that stage, like I didn't actually bother getting a computer until I think it was the year 2000. So, and even then, that was even before I ever heard of Facebook or anything. So in 2009 on Facebook, I said, God, I joined it, like Hattie sort of showed me the ropes, how to get in on it. And so I said, God, I must have a look and see if I can see anyone that, you know. So I checked in and I went into Google, I searched Bobby Napier, El Paso. And funny enough, what came up with Bobby plus yourself with the musicians of elpaso.com. So that's how that came about. I said, So there was no actual direct sort of info on Bobby, but I said, surely I'll get directions from yourself. So then that's how I emailed you and then introduced myself. And that's how we started getting in contact. And then you got back to me and then said that you would forward my email to Bobby. And then Bobby in turn emailed me. So after sort of 26 years, 27 years, you know, nuts, isn't it?
Isn't that cool? Nuts. The power of the internet, man.
And the funny thing at that time, what was the other website in music? MySpace.
Uh-huh.
Well, at the other time, the next time after I sort of found Bobby, so to speak, I said, well, God, I must have a look and see if I can find Buddy. So I was searching everywhere for Buddy, and I was finding Harmons in the directory everywhere. So I messaged every singing Harmon I could find. Are you by any chance a brother of such and such, you know? And I eventually got his brother. And he said, well, he's actually over, he has a page on whatever the name of that.
Facebook.
MySpace.
Oh, MySpace, yeah.
So I went out to MySpace and I searched for him. And lo and behold, I found him. And he had a photograph of myself and himself up and a caption underneath it saying, this is Sean McGeeney, my friend from Ireland, taken on the Tammy Wynette tour, something like that, words to that effect. If anyone here knows Sean, will they please contact him and tell him to contact me? It was, so I was looking for him, he was looking for me, and you know, it's nuts.
It's amazing what we can do with the internet, man. It really is. And that it has helped me. It's helped me so much through the years to recontact a lot of my musician friends, people that I've known all my life.
Absolutely.
And to track them down. And it's been so powerful. You know, I don't know what I would do without it. A lot of people say, oh, Facebook, you know, but for me, it's been a major tool, you know.
Sure, absolutely. Oh, God bless us, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. No doubt. Oh, it's fabulous. But it's great, like where we've managed to sort of hook up now.
You know, and what has meant so much to me through the years, Sean, is that, you know, how many people can say that every St. Patrick's Day in the country that they get a phone call from a true Irishman. My wife and I get to talk to you, every year.
God bless you. Yeah. Oh, but I love doing that. I love doing that. I get a good buzz out of it. It's so much fun to be able to speak to somebody like to wish somebody a happy St. Patrick's Day. I was nearly going to say to wish them a happy Christmas, but I'm a wee bit.
One of the things that meant so much to me in 2009 when you and I really started hooking up was when you I know I was having a pre-concert meeting with Border Legends with the musicians that was our very first one that Rod and I produced, and it meant so much to me that afternoon. I was sitting there in the club where we were going to do the show, and I was sitting there having a pre-concert meeting with all the musicians, kind of giving them an idea of what was going to happen and everything. And then my phone rings, and it was you, and it was so cool because you were doing a shout out to all of us at Border Legends #1, and wishing us well, and that meant so much to me. I mean, that right there propelled me as if I wasn't excited enough with all the adrenaline and everything going on. Yeah. And then, but when I got that call from you, I mean, that made my day. It really did.
Oh, and the funny thing about it was because it was in my head, it was in my head to make sure that I remember to call you. And because it was just to wish you, and I had no idea that you were actually having your sort of pre-production meeting, and I just call on spec. Again, that's the worst about mobile phones or calling somebody. You don't have any idea what they're actually doing on the other end. Like you could catch them in the bathroom or something, So
especially when it's 7 hours before, right?
Yeah. I was trying to get. I'm dreadful at trying to work out the time. So myself and Stephen, we were standing outside our gig when I rang, and then I'm talking away, and he's standing here with his head stuck into me face, trying to listen as well. So I said the handiest thing is I'll just hand the phone over to him, and he can say hello as well.
And that was very cool. That was very cool.
I was delighted.
It was fun talking with him in this show. As people will see, they'll see me engaged in a conversation with Stephen, your keyboard player, and it was really, really cool. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Ireland's numero uno, #1 wedding band called The Urge. Let's chat about that a little bit, man. And I'm gonna show a little promo here shortly about what they can visualize as a band like yours has become. And I mean, it's just the ultimate party band. Talk about that a little bit.
Right, but when you mention the party, what we say to people is, in regards to the weddings, you bring the guests and we'll bring the party. The way we live by it, when the first dance starts with the bride and groom or whatever, from there for probably maybe about 45 to 50 minutes, everyone's on the floor the whole time. We don't allow them to leave the floor. One groom in particular, he was wearing a tuxedo, grey one, and he done his first dance, and then we don't even give them a chance to take a breather or anything. just as the when we call the bridesmaids out and all that, just at the end of that, we will just say, right, everybody on the floor, and we'll lead straight into the next song. So everybody comes out. So the Pilgrim, he was still wearing his tuxedo top, his coat. And I'm looking at him and I said, oh dear, I think this is going to end in tears. Because he was on the floor for 50 minutes. And what started off as a grey tuxedo suit jacket was black because it was just soaked in sweat. He wasn't allowed to leave the floor, nearly killed him. But, and that's the way we go. And we kind of, a program or set program is for the first half before, so there's a buffet brought out. The first half is very middle of the road, a lot of country music, a lot of good jiving, a lot of good fun stuff like that. Because in the early stage of the weddings, you have every age group going. You have the mums, the dads, the aunts, the uncles, the grannies, the grandfathers, and everything. So there's quite a lot of big age difference. Whereas you can't hit them too heavy at the beginning. So with all that middle of the road stuff, the aunts and granddads can come out and enjoy the stuff. Now, as that's going on over here, they be sipping away at the old soup and they be getting well loosened up, you see. So come the time when the buffet happens, they're nice and content and they're comfortably numb with the few sherbets, and then they get a cup of tea and a sandwich and they're ready to go then. So then we hit them between the eyes with this sort of more in-your-face stuff. And at that stage, the aunts, the uncles, and the grannies and grandas, they're that loose, they'll take on anyone. And they're out again then,
Let me ask you about that. Do the aunts and grannies, the older people, do they usually stay all night, or do they poop out about halfway through the night and then you get into the real serious partying?
No, ours, thankfully, to stay on. The hardcore.
Oh, okay.
The really hardcore.
That's
now,
cool.
I did on weddings, they would. A lot of people would just stay for the meal and they might stay for a half hour for the gig, and then, God bless them, it'll be time for bed. They might stay in the hotel and they'll go on up to the hotel room, But by and large, all ours stay at the wedding reception, which is great because it's so fun, so much fun. Like when they're up at the front of the stage, and then after the gig, like you be sort of chatting with them and all that. And especially when they have a few sherbets in them, they are so talkative, and you could just take them home and adopt them,
Oh, yeah. Every time I've seen your promo videos and things where you've done actual, parties and everything, it's so much fun. I mean, immediately you get thrown right into the party. You just love it, And I was going to ask you,
so much. I love it.
On average, how many guests do you usually play for at these parties? What's the biggest party and what's the smallest party that you've played for?
The biggest one would be probably, you'd be playing, maybe there'd be some sort of higher end weddings, like sort of high, I don't want to use the word high class, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you'd be playing maybe up to maybe about 500 people.
Wow.
500
okay.
guests. And then you could have another party that one wedding reception was actually took place in the living room of a stately home,
Oh,
so
wow.
you might be playing to maybe about 20 people, and that's even great fun as well because they're right in front of you and you can just mingle among them. It's fabulous.
Now that stately home are we talking about a castle here, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, no. I should have done my homework. I'll find a photograph for you and I'll send it to you. No, they're just like a mansion, just a big sort of mansion house type thing. But
Okay.
The castle wedding, they're very popular now at the moment. They're quite popular.
Nice.
It's nice to do them. And a lot of the castles, what they do is they basically close the castle down, and the wedding is a lot of the hire out the castle, so to speak, where the people have the run of the whole castle for the weekend. They have the rooms and they get a wee sort of sightseeing job and the run of the kitchens and everything,
what's cool about that is that everything is confined right there, so people can stay there. They don't have to worry about getting out and driving if they've had a little bit too much, Guinness or whatever,
Yeah. Like, in fairness, like when they're staying there and they've had a few, like 2 staggers on the crawl and they're upstairs in their bedroom.
I like that. Well, one of the things that I have really enjoyed about the footage that you sent me, Sean, was the countryside. The Emerald Isle has got to be just one of the most beautiful spectacles I've ever seen in my life. Now, I got to tell you, my wife, she is 10% Irish. We did our ancestry. She's 10% Irish and between 40 and 60% Scottish, okay? Her last name, her maiden name was Nelson, okay? And right. and I don't have any Irish or Scottish. I've got a lot of German, okay? And I've got Swiss. I've got some Swiss in there, but I can't. I want so much to be Irish. I think they messed up. I think I really am.
Actually, we'll adopt you.
Okay, that's cool. Now, but in that frame of mind, I got to say this. If you're going to adopt me and Sharon, you're going to have to do all the driving for me, because there's no way in heck I'm going to be able to drive on the left side of the road. I can't grab onto that. I don't know.
You mean there's no way you can drive on the proper side of the road?
Hey, I have a hard enough time driving on the right side of the road, which is our proper side over here. And then when I get to the roundabouts, I really get, I just, crazy,
That happened to me. That happened to me over in Tenerife in 2009, the year we met. It was the first time I'd been on holidays in about 27 years. And the whole family, we decided to go to Tenerife. And I was the pilot. So I was driving. I said, holy, what am I going to do? I was grand once I was driving straight. I had to really, really think about the roundabouts. But some of the places that we traveled, very mountainous. And you're driving along like this, and I'm looking over the side, and all I can see is this sheer precipice.
Oh, no.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. And, it's here, and I have a mental block because I can't judge where I am on the road, how close I am to the edge. I said, all I'm saying is, I'm going to kill everybody, Hands on the wheel like this, and the knuckles pure white. Traveling about 5 miles a fortnight, going up this hill, and I have a stream of cars behind me beeping, telling me to move, and the sweat pouring out of me. And I'm driving like this, and I'm saying to Tracy, if they don't stop beeping, I'm going to pull over, and I'm going to go out, and I'm going to beat them.
Well, I gotta tell you,
I was petrified.
When I watched the videos, and I'm going to show them here in a moment, but when I travel with you in your car, and everybody, you're going to be seeing some beautiful country. But one of the first video I'm going to show is one called the rolling road. Okay, and you'll know what I mean by that here in a minute. But the rolling road, and then after that, Sean is going to be taking us on a little trip to Anaverna, which is really pretty country. I just love that. And then in the last video, which is about, and I got to tell you, it's about 17 minutes long, Sean's going to be taking us to Carrickmacross, which is where Sean lives, there in Ireland, to Dundalk, which is where they played, and you're going to see their band playing there and everything. But in the daytime, Sean takes us on a trip through the beautiful countryside and talks to us a little bit about it. So we're going to be covering that, okay? And it'll be a lot of fun. Now,
I'm back again, Rick. I'm just going to drive very slowly down this road here till I explain what's happening. So I'll go really slow here. I'm going to come over this side of the road, and on stop. I'm going to switch my ignition off. I'm going to take my foot off the brake, and let's see what happens. Woohoo! This is what's known as the rolling road. When you get down to the bottom of the hill, you turn your ignition off, and you sit there, and you just roll back up the hill. It's a very, very fun thing. So I'll start my engine again. And we'll do it again, just for the fun. I love taking people down here when they're over, sort of family and stuff that may never have heard of it, you know. So off with the ignition, and away we go again. It's a bit nuts, but I love it. It's great fun. I remember when I was brought down here first by my brother. I was only a kid, myself and my mother, and he done the exact same thing, and I did not know what was happening. I says, there's definitely something wrong here. So here's another car coming. Sometimes during the summer there, you get a load of people just reversing up and down the hill. It's quite funny actually. So when you're driving on this road coming from the direction in front of us here, you sort of have to be careful in case you meet some boy reversing. So what I'll do is here, I'll go up the proper side of the road now, and I'll turn the ignition off. Now. Off with the ignition. And up the hill she goes. It's cool. It's fun. And there's a car behind me. Better start. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. Haha. So then you see a wee drop of water in front of us. That leads out into Dundalk Bay. See if I can switch the camera around here so you can get a wee drop of it. Probably see nothing until we get down to the bottom. It's a nice area here. It's fairly upper class sort of. This is called Ravensdale, and there's a lot of sort of nice big houses, for the want of a better word. Very, very wealthy guys decide to move. If ever anyone wants to move, they normally head to Ravensdale, because it's just part of the forest and surroundings, you know. So it's really, really, really quiet. It's lovely. It's really nice. If I was ever to move anywhere, I'd probably move here. It'd be lovely, and it's not too far from town, so you're not totally isolated. You'll be in town in 10 minutes, so it's great, you know. So that was me little fun spin for you, to take you up the rolling road. So much for the hand. This is top of She's a wee bit wild. Bit of a bright sun as well. This is the national television station. That's the mast for TV for this part of the country. And I'll take you on up to the top. So where you had on the other side, you had over in Dundalk, which is in Southern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. This is now Northern Ireland, and in front of us here are the mountains of Mourn. I don't know if you ever heard the song. It was written by, I think it was Ralph McTell, and Mary, just London's a wonderful sight, but this here is where the mountains of Mourn sweep down to the sea. So that's them there, and a lovely big cloud just sitting over. There's times it's actually even nicer. Let's see if I can zoom in this time here. Get a wee bit closer for you. It's very pretty over that side there as well. That's a place there called Warren Point, and in Northern Ireland. It's a very, very nice sort of little, during the summer it's a nice sort of tourist area. And these are between the nice beauty there and the absolute caveman Stone Age stuff here on that side. So there's a little bit of this here. In the hottest day in summer, once you come up here, it would freeze you. It would just cut the lugs clean off of you. Oh, phone nearly fell out of my hand. Not so good, eh? Not so good. So, but there's that wee little sort of beauty spot for you. And I'll take you back to the car and we'll head off. Okay, I'm going to stop this video now and then I'll send that individually to you. It's probably a little clearer on this side here now again, now with the sun sort of gone in behind the clouds. So I'll try and get another wee bit here for you. Hey up. The only stone on the road and I managed to hit it. Leave it to me. So I'll pop out here and I'll get something for you. Make sure the car doesn't roll down the hill. There you go. That's you. So we get out of the car here. See if I can cover the microphone output. Oh dear, oh dear. Bit of a heavenly vibe here with the rays. Right, no harm. It's getting very cold and my hands seemed to have disappeared off the ends of my wrists and my nose is absolutely freezing. So I'll cut this one short. Okay, bye.
Now, let's talk a little bit, Sean, about a special project that was really dear to you and your band's heart when you did this project about Liam Riley. Tell everybody who Liam was, who Liam was, and who Bagatelle, who the band was, and why this project became so important for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still not over his passing because he was such a very, very deep soul altogether. His soul was so deep, like, and excuse me, when you listen to some of his lyrics and songs, you can tell how deep and sensitive he was and full of emotion, you know. And when he passed away on New Year's Day, like, absolutely no warning whatsoever. Like, he wasn't feeling ill or anything like that. And when I got the word, Stephen rang me actually to tell me, and I absolutely almost fell off the sofa in shock, and that's no exaggeration. And Bagatelle started off in the late 70s, 80s, and at the time, there was another sort of up-and-coming group in Dublin as well. Excuse me. And they were called U2. And U2, the guys in U2 used to always actually look up to Liam and the guys, because Liam and the boys, their stuff was very, 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 very commercial, you know, where back then U2 stuff, I don't know that much, but it didn't seem as commercial to the ear, you know, and nice and clicky. You know, do you know when you hear a song and it just clicks with you?
Right.
It would take you a while to sort of get that groove going with U2 stuff. But because of that, Bagatelle were doing serious business back then in the 80s. And funny, Larry Mullins, the drummer with U2, used to call Bagatelle Bag of Money, because he says, I would love to be them, you know, because they were making a bag of money. And U2 were just, I'm not saying struggling, but they were just trying to make their way up. But anyway,
who would you compare him to, Sean, in the United States, so people can understand the importance of who Liam was in your country?
Well, I'll tell you who I would compare him to. I would compare him to Elton John.
Elton John,
Because,
okay.
Yeah, in the early stages of Bagatelle, he was actually approached by Elton John's agent and wanted to sort of take him on and take him sort of international. Liam had no interest in it whatsoever. He just wanted to be staying at home, you know. And some of his stuff, I wouldn't say he emulated Elton John or anything. It's just the way he was, and it just so happened that he was similar, and his approach to music and whatnot. And like, I remember going to to one of the first gigs in Dundalk, and it was a real small, intimate gig. Just you walked in, and the minute you walked in, you were hit with this furnace of heat from everybody, you know. And it was so good just sitting there in your gold or sweat listening to the guys. And would have been a small little venue, the sound was impeccable, you know. It was tight as anything, you know. And at that time they had a song just released called Trump Card, and it was a great little number, great wee punch to it. And it was that was the one that really set them off. But one of his big songs was a song called The Streets of New York. And after 2001, after the 9/11, he was approached. How did it go? I think he made contact. Oh no, he was approached by some top brass in the police in New York, and a part of the Emerald Society, they're called, and they had heard Liam's song, The Streets of New York, and they actually adopted it as their national anthem, which I thought was pretty cool. Really nice, you know.
That's
and
great.
The lyrics, again, they're just, it's a bit, I'll tell you what, it's a bit veering off slightly. When I listened to Ronnie's interview that you done with him,
Ronnie
the story
Cox,
that he told about the little lady from looking to go to Baltimore, the lyrics that he put into that song were on par with what Liam done. It was so personal, if you know what I mean, a personal observations and everything, you know. And I think that's what made him great. But he, for a number of years, they were packing halls in Ireland and over in the States and in England, everywhere. And then they had a bit of a break, and then Liam went solo then, and he lived over in the States for a couple of years, and then they came back and reformed again, and they were going since, until unfortunately he passed away there, you know. We made contact with this lady from Vienna, and her name is Monica, and she was a Liam fan throughout, and unfortunately she'd never been to Ireland, and so she'd never met Liam, but she was just so, she knew more about Liam than probably Liam knew about Liam, you know, that sort of way. And last year there, like, we're having our chatting and all that, she came over to visit, so Stephen sort of chaperoned her. We brought her around to all the haunts where Liam used to frequent, you know, his local bar and all that. And she was just loving it because she was hearing first-hand stories, not sort of second-hand, third-hand, but first-hand stories from his best friends, telling her stories about him, you know, and it meant so much to her, you know, and she's such a sweet lady. She's brilliant, absolutely. But there's talk about looking to get we would love if there was a sort of a little monument or a statue or something in memory of him in town, you know, because he deserves it. He really does deserve it. He was such a great guy, a great and talented man, very witty, very, very witty, you know.
Let's talk a little bit, Sean, about the song now, Avenue Man.
Yeah. Well, in January of last year, just in the month that he passed away, I got a call from Stephen, and he says, "Hey, I'm sending you something over. You have a listen to this." So he sent it. It was rough, really, just a rough guide. And I said, "Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. What's about?" He didn't tell me what it was about and then he said it's about Liam, and I said, "Oh, that's lovely. That's so nice." And it was himself and Denver. They wrote it one night, and adding wee pieces as it went along. So we got into the studio, and Stephen sang the verses, and then when it came into the chorus of Avenue Man, Denver sang that part, and then when it went into the middle eight, I sang the middle eight. And we're sitting listening to it, and it's a great song, but too much happening with the vocals, you know. There's too much. It's too busy, you know. So we said, I think we'll take somebody else to do the song, you know. So we got on to another studio that was going to be doing the mixing and mastering, and we sent the song to him, and he says, "Oh, that's a great song, lads. The only problem is there's too much going on in the vocals." And we said, "Well, we know that, but we were thinking of bringing somebody in to do it." And he said, "Well, I didn't want to say that to you in case it would offend you. But I was thinking that myself." I said, "You wouldn't offend us, not in the least. It's not about us. It's about the song." So then we got our good friend Eamon Toll to come in and do the song. And Eamon heard the song and fell in love with it. And he said he'd love to do it, you know. So then when Eamon recorded the song, then we said, "Let's join up." So he became the singer as well in the band now. So we're 5-piece now, you know.
My father passed away about 9 years ago, and he used to come into the living room, I'd play the piano, and he'd say, "Where the hell did you get that song?" And I said, "I just wrote that one." "You did not?" "I did." And then he went to see James last in the RES doing somewhere in Dublin. He couldn't believe it.
A regular boy with a star in his eye grew up on the avenue his star was to rise, singing his songs all over the world, giving hope to the earls that may never fly home. Your songs sing on and we miss you. You're gone from the stage. We think of you and we bid adieu, but your memory remains. Avenue Man, song, your legacy lives on. Yes, you were the Avenue Man. As time rolled on, the picture was formed. The world heard your sound and your style was born. Playing your piano and searching your soul, writing classic hits for the radio. Your songs sing on and we miss you. You're gone from the stage. We think of you and we bid adieu, but your memory remains. Avenue Man, you played all your life in a rock and roll band. Song after song, your legacy lives on. In Dublin on a 46H, strumming chords with a drunk that you met on the way. Dicey came from the town of Dundalk, now he's heard on the streets of New York. Avenue man, played all your life in a rock and roll band. Song after song, your legacy lives on. Yes, you were the Avenue man. Yes, you were the Avenue man. Yes, you were the Avenue man.
And which is great. And Eamon, unfortunately, he wasn't there the other night where you could have met him, but he is such a funny guy. He's such a funny, witty guy, you know, very, very quick. He's great. Back in, I can't remember what year it was, 2000, maybe it was. He represented Ireland in the Eurovision Song Contest. And it was great, you know, he was brilliant. And that's another thing about Liam, God rest him. He actually represented Ireland in the Eurovision Song Contest as well in 1989, I think it was, or 88, something like that. And he came joint second. He was leading up the whole way, and he ended up joint second. So we were sitting watching the show at a gig, and we refused to start playing until the Eurovision was over, because we heard the results, you know. And then when he was pipped to the post, I was sitting there, I was nearly in tears for him, I swear. Oh, it broke me hard. But yes, when we done the song, we recorded it and we got in contact with Liam's family, and just to get the blessing, so to speak, and got in contact with the lads in Bagatelle, Jim, his manager, and they loved the song as well. So all was good there, you know. And then we presented his family with a gold disc just to commemorate for the release of the song, you know. So it was lovely. It was a lovely day.
Beautiful, man. I remember when you sent me the information on it and everything, and I just sat there, and it warmed my heart. It really did. I mean, what you guys did for Liam, what you did for his family, and I explained this to Stephen the other night when I was talking with him at the club. Was
yes.
It's so important that you guys embraced that and did that. Things like that, acts of kindness. Sometimes we don't do these things in advance. It takes somebody passing before it gets done. And I will just safely say this: he was up there looking down, smiling at you guys when you were in the studio doing that.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
It's a great song, and I would encourage you guys to write more original material. I know you that was a first venture for you all, and you haven't done a lot of that yet. But I would. You've got so much talent in that band, as everybody's going to hear when I play the set, part of the set that you did the other night at Courtney's. And the only thing is, I wished I was playing drums with you. You know, I mean, I would drink my Guinness and I'd be so happy. No, you got a great drummer.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could hook you up to a drip, and you could have it intravenous, and you wouldn't even have to stop. You could just drum away, and it'll be coming in. Well, I'll tell you what, that's on the bucket list. With the help of God, when yourself and Sharon come over, and you come to a gig, you'll definitely have to be up to jam with us.
I would love that. That would mean so much to me, but more importantly, just to come visit you guys would be just everything, it's on my bucket list for sure, is to get up there and
great.
and
Great.
get over there to see you guys, and we'll see, maybe we can make that happen.
We will. Listen, we definitely will. Absolutely. No maybes about it.
The end part of this podcast is coming up now, because I'm going to take the video into the club where I got to meet all you guys, individually, and chat with them a little bit. And I didn't get to use the video of the band called Celtic Funk. I really wanted to use that, but we'll have to do that another time, where we just record them and not do it with the Zoom, because with Zoom it doesn't record good music, as you know. No. So, but anyway, I'm gonna play some music of Sean and his band, The Urge, at a place called Courtney's. Now, I got to tell you, Courtney's is really super special for me, because we have two people in our lives. Sharon and I do. Sharon's brother, Mark, has a daughter named Courtney. She's a beautiful girl. She's our niece, and I'm going to put a picture up of her in a minute here, and you'll see it. And then I have another dear friend. Sharon and I have another dear friend by the name of Courtney Richards. Courtney, he's a really neat guy. I've known him for a long time. His wife was on the city council here in city government of El Paso many years ago. She's passed away now, but Courtney has remained to be a dear friend of ours through the years. He was the aide to our commanding general here at Fort Bliss in El Paso here, towards the latter part of his time in the military. He went to West Point. He's a graduate of West Point, and just a nice guy, Courtney Richards. But the other day, when you were taking me on the little trip to the pub where you guys play once every month on a Sunday night, it's a cool pub, man. It's great. It's really big. And they have two places in there where the bands play. There's a little place where the Celtic Funk was playing, so Sean's taken me to a different part of this place. I said, "Well, how far away is your gig that you're playing tonight?" And he says, "I'm here. I'm already here." I'm going, "What?" And so next thing I know, in 30 seconds, he's in a different part of the pub, which is a big area. And that's where everybody dances and has a great time. And you're going to see that in the video here. But we're gonna wrap this podcast up with the video of Sean and his band called The Urge playing, and you can see why these guys have so much fun. They have a passion for what they do. And the crowd loves them. I can see why they have you back every month for the many years that you've been there, because you guys are the ultimate party band, man. It's so cool to watch you guys and watch the crowd love you. It's so neat.
And earlier on that night, if you remember, you asked me, what's the crowd like? Does it do a good crowd? And I said, yeah, well, thankfully, like on a Sunday night when we're there, we sort of tend to draw a good crowd, all right. And I'm saying to myself, please, let there be a crowd here tonight. Please, don't let it be sod's law that this will be the night of all nights, that there'll be nobody here.
Well,
and when I went down to the front after I left with you, and I left the guys up at the front and walked down, there was nobody in our part of the gig. And I said, "Oh, no, don't do that to me." But then it filled up then. They all came in then, thankfully.
Well, on Saturday night, you guys had such a bad rainstorm. I guess that's what helped it a lot, too, is that people were probably, bored from having to stay home because of all the rain. And so they were ready to party on Sunday.
Yeah. Honestly, Rick, it was insane. Honest to God, it was insane. Like when I went into town to try and get some footage for you in the bars and all that. In Carrick itself, there was nobody about town. Nobody. I'd say they were all sitting at home with their feet up on a table in front of the fire with a big pint of Guinness. You know?
Yep, that's what I was doing.
That's the one. That's the one.
Well, my friend, this show's going to go a little bit over because it's been so much fun talking to you and everything, and I want to put all this in there, but
you can blame that on me, because I just, as I told you before, everything can't be the short version; it has to be the long one. So that's my fault. So I apologize to your viewers.
No apology necessary, my friend. I knew it was going to be a lot of fun, and it means so much to me to have you with me today doing this. I had so much fun with the guys the other night. Thank them. Stephen and the boys, they're great. You guys.
Oh, they're great, lad.
It's a great band. You guys are everything. Ireland is lucky to have you. Ireland is lucky to have you.
We're very close. We're very close. There are some bands I know that they do their gig and they get on really well, and then the gig's finished and they may not be sort of gigging until the following week or maybe the week after, and they wouldn't actually see each other. Whereas our band, like the guys, even on a night off, the guys pick up the phone, they coming out for a drink or whatever, or one will go down and visit the other in the house or whatever. It's lovely. We're always constantly in contact.
Yeah, it's like a nice family. Just.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
yeah.
God, yes, absolutely, without a doubt. I love them. I'm so happy. Really, really happy.
And not all families are nice. What can I say, man? But that one, you got a good one.
That's true. That can be true. But thankfully, this family's a nice family.
Yeah. So with that, my friend, I'm going to wrap this up. But I want to thank you so much, Sean McGeeney, for being with me today. And you mean a lot to Sharon and I and our family.
Likewise.
We think the world of you, my friend. And
thank you very much. But before we go,
yeah,
one of the things that popped into my mind today was when I started on the road first. I'll just give you a quick one. And I started with the first country band in 1978 as a professional, and I was playing from 74. And on the first night that I was playing up in Northern Ireland. But at the time, as we were speaking before, it was, a bit iffy, like with the circumstances and situations up there. And I didn't want to worry my parents, because they would get very worried if I'm saying I'm going up to Northern Ireland during the Troubles, So I would always say we're playing over in County Leitrim or up in Donegal, even though it is up in the north, but it's in the Republic, So on the first night, I had replaced the guy in this band. And on the first night, it was on the way to the gig. I says, no, I'm not what you call the tallest tree in the forest. Put it that way. That's to put it politely. Like, I'm kind of small. And the guy that I replaced, he was a big guy. Now the problem lay in when it was time for me to wear his suit. So you have this guy this side, and you have me that side. So what the guys had to do, they had to crumple up the waistband of my trousers and put them in like this. And we found a big nappy, like a diaper pin. The big giant ones, big giant diaper pin. So they put it in and held it tight so the trousers would stay up. So I have to move back here. At some stage of the night, I think it might have been 3/4 way through the gig, I dropped my plug and I went to pick it up. So as I picked it up, I felt bing, and this unmerciful pain. Didn't the pin open up and stuck in the backside? And Lord, so the waistband started unraveling, which meant the trousers were going to fall down. So in the middle of a gig, there was about 1,000 people at the gig. And so I have to stand up. So I'm standing up, playing, but I'm trying to hold my trousers up like this here with me two elbows. So that's how I had to finish the remainder of the gig, holding me trousers up with my elbows while I was playing. So my memories of my first ever sort of professional gig was a very painful memory.
and it's been going uphill ever since, right?
Absolutely. Oh dear.
What's the name of the place where you're playing? The pub?
Courtney's. I'll show you outside here. I'm
Okay.
going to decide, Ali. Well, Kern, Rick, these
Yeah.
are the two men that hold the show together, right?
Hi, guys.
Go ahead.
Which one's Stephen?
No, these are the men that hold this place together.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Those are the Courtneys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Only for them the place will fall asunder.
There you go.
I'm just going to nip out here, Karen. Yeah, so it's getting nighttime here now. So I'm going to a bold article. I'm going to walk in the middle of the road here and see if I can get it across.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, nice. Nice. There you are, outside there. Courtney Spirits.
I can't understand how there's a way of getting it sort of mirrored that you can see everything right, because everything seems to be back to front.
That looks good right there. I can see it. Courtney Spirits.
See it okay,
yeah.
But it's such a fun gig, you know. That's the other part of the street. Let's see.
And when you start playing, how many people will be there? I mean, this is a Sunday night, right? I mean, do a lot of people go out on Sundays there in Ireland?
What's that, Rick? Sorry?
What? You're there on a Sunday night. Are there a lot of people that show up on a Sunday night at that pub?
Yeah, we're not here every Sunday night. We only do one a month.
I see.
And thankfully, like whenever we're here, there's always a good crowd, you know. We seem to pull in a decent enough crowd, you know. Having said that, I could have put the blink on it and maybe nobody's going out tonight. So we'll see.
You won't be playing then for another 2.5 hours. Is that correct?
Yeah, but the guys will be here in a while. John's here already, the drummer. And,
okay.
So we could, like, before we can have a wee chat if you like.
Okay, that'd be nice. So perfect. Okay. Well, I'll see you in an hour and 45 then, my friend.
That'll do, buddy. That'll do. No bother at all.
All right. Thank you.
No bother. Say hello to Sharon for me.
I will. I'll tell her here in a minute. Thank you, buddy.
That England.
Rick.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I have everybody here.
All right. We got the Urge in the house. How are you guys?
Very good.
As you notice, we're all muffled up here because at night she's pretty cold.
Inside the pub it's cold, or where are you?
We're outside.
We're outside.
Oh, you're inside? Well, tell them to turn the heat up.
Yeah, if we could get a big gas chamber going here.
Tell them to throw another log on the fire.
Absolutely.
We'll have to light the fire first. We'll have to find it.
We have to find the fire first. Let's see if we can get this over here. Oh, that's great. Yeah, right in front of a pint.
Okay, who's drinking the Guinness today?
That's
Denver.
All right, there's the Guinness. All right, I like that. That's cool.
When he comes over, you just have to get him a proper pint of Guinness.
Are we going to talk to the guys, or what are we going to do?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to hand you over to Stephen here.
Okay.
Just the camera's there.
Okay.
Hi, Stephen.
Hey, Stephen. How are you?
Fine, buddy. How are you today?
Super. Just here waiting to do our thing here.
Get in here, then.
I got to tell you, Stephen. Who's this one? Who's that to your left?
This is John, the drummer.
Hi, John. Fellow drummer. How are you, my friend?
Good, all good.
And this is Denver.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
He's the drummer.
The boys are all having beers here. Very
Good for you, man. You got to get ready to play. You know, you got to have your beer.
Yeah, we're not an outfit for that generally.
Yeah.
Strict code of conduct.
I got I got to tell you, Stephen, this is a real pleasure. I've been wanting to do this with you guys for a long time. I've known about you all and Sean for 13 years.
Wow.
And back when I was producing my Border Legend show in El Paso, the very first one, I remember Sean got on the phone with me and was calling to wish us
you were speaking
a real
Yeah, I
good.
remember.
You might have been there that day, but it's a real pleasure and honor to be connected with you
Likewise for
guys.
ourselves as well, Rick. Likewise for ourselves indeed. We appreciate you having us on.
Fantastic, man. I love you guys, and thank you for being a part of our show today. You know, it's incredible.
Yeah, no, we're absolutely delighted to be on with you.
And I got to tell you also that I gotta thank you for what you all did to the with the production that you did with Liam Rayleigh. You know, that was so.
Yeah.
Avenue Man was so incredible. You guys did such a great job. I know it was a major loss for you all and Bagatelle and everything, but it's a sad thing. But thank you all for what you did for not just the country, but what you did for the world by recognizing his accomplishments and what he did with his music, his dedication, his passion for being a great musician for all those years.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
A beautiful songwriter, taken so very, very fast as well. There was an absolutely no warning situation, but unfortunately these things happen, Rick, as we all tend to find out along the way. But no, it's super, and we want to wish you all the very best for what you're doing, and we're delighted to be involved. And there we have some off-camera antics. One,
I was just trying to slice his throat.
he was just saying
he's very creepy now. He's sticking his head in every
Yes, I have been a speculator. I'm going over the market 28.
Good lad, we're just
100%.
we're doing the podcast here. Just
Well, listen,
chat to you in a minute.
Rick, I'll hand you back over to Sean here.
Okay, Stephen. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, there you go. When it was actually that night that we were speaking on the phone, actually Stephen was speaking to you that night when you were doing the pre-production.
See, that was 13 years ago, man. I can't remember that far back.
Yeah. I was actually counting it back, and I couldn't believe it. And I says, "Holy God, years! Where have them years gone?"
I know.
Absolutely insane.
No
doubt about it. It's absolutely insane.
We're not getting any older, right, Sean?
No, honest to God. Unfortunately, the numbers are going in the wrong direction.
You're so right there, my friend. So tell me, before you guys start, tell the audience a little bit about exactly where you are. Are you now playing in Carrickmacross, or where are you located right now?
We're in Dundalk.
Okay, you are in Dundalk. Okay.
Yeah, we're in Dundalk.
Which is right by Carrickmacross, right? How far away is that?
30 minutes, is it, Sean?
It's about 25 minutes drive.
Okay.
So you're looking at about maybe 13 kilometers, maybe.
And you're right near the coast, right?
Yeah. Dundalk here itself is right near the coast.
Okay.
It's total coastline, Carrick is more sort of inwards.
Yes.
Inwards, but Dundalk is coastline, which is really lovely. And I would like to maybe tomorrow at some stage get out to Black Rock. There's another little town beside us here called Black Rock. Well, it's a village actually, and it's the coastline. It's the coastline as well, and it's a lovely little seaside place, And if I'll get out maybe for 10 minutes to do a video for you.
Wonderful. That'd be great, man. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
In the meantime, what I'll do is if we can pause this, I'll go down and I'll see if I can nab some young lady to be my assistant, and then I'll give her the wire.
Have a good set, man, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah. So you can give her the thumbs up when you're finished, and then we probably won't really get a chance to chat, and then I'll give you a call when I get home.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you, buddy.
No bother, brother. Right. I'll talk to you later. I'll let you do the pausing.
Thank you.
No bother. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. 2, 1, 2. Yeah, once again, we'd like to send a big happy St. Patrick's Day to Talk and Rock Radio over in El Paso, Texas.
Happy St. Patrick's Day,
Happy
you
St.
guys.
Patrick's Day, lads. Everybody over there, over the people, a big shout. Excellent.
Well, I'm going to let you go, my friend. Thank you for doing this show, and we'll do this again sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, without a doubt. Oh, I've been looking forward to this so much, Rick. And unfortunately, like, just circumstances, you would get yourself geared up to do it, and then something would come up, and then you'd have to put it onto the shelf for another week. You know yourself.
I know.
But at the same time, us over here in Ireland, we have a bad habit of saying, it'll be grand. We'll do it soon. We have what's known as a big long finger. And it goes on the end of the long finger.
Yeah. Well, my friend, let's talk soon, okay? Thank you, and we'll visit again real soon.
Please God, with the help of God. And listen, a very happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone, all your viewers, everybody in El Paso, and Sharon, and Nicole, and Rick. I'm wishing my very best, and the very, very best for the boys. And the lads told me to pass on the very best wishes as well, and a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you,
so
Sean.
We'll talk soon, Rick.
We love you guys, and take care, all right? We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We'd like to wish everybody at Talk and Rock Radio a very happy St. Patrick's Day. From Ireland,
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
and a happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody in El Paso. God bless you all. Bye.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.